Okay. So can you tell me where our family came from?
We aren't we aren't totally sure. Our name Forrest has two R's, which has origins in England. But my father has actually had a DNA test that shows that most of our ancestors came from Spain or France.
Okay.
So we're not totally sure. There there was a Forrest on the Mayflower, a single maid or housekeeper female who may have had a child or children out of wedlock. We also know that there were some Forrest in Jamestown, and we theorize, and again this is just speculation, but that uh, somebody went from Jamestown to eastern North Carolina, and our family has actually been there since the mid 1700s. And how, how we know that is we've actually had our farm in our family since 1797, and that first deed actually showed the property bounded by other forest land. So we think that it was other relatives actually prior to 1797. So we speculate mid 1700s, but the only factual evidence that we have is the actual deed from 1797.
Okay. So how many generations can we really trace back with the Forrest family?
Positively 10 from me, so 11 from you.
Okay.
And so that is based on our patriarch William Forrest, who actually served in the Revolutionary War, and since they didn't have the money to pay him as a new struggling country, they offered land as payment, and so he took 100 acres of land, as I said, that is in eastern North Carolina in Greene County, which was then called Glasgow County, at a little area called Rock Ridge, or yeah, Rock Ridge was the old name, and the name was later changed to Scuffleton years later.
Do we have any veterans in our family?
Yes, yes. So William Forrest, as I said, served in the Revolutionary War. We had a father and a son serve together in the Civil War. That was Lemuel Forrest and Jesse Tom Forrest. So Lemuel was the father, and Jesse Tom was the son. Jesse Tom was my grandfather's grandfather. So both of them were in the Civil War. And then my grandfather, your great-grandfather, Roy Forrest, or Bud Forrest as he was always called, was in World War II and served in the Japanese area, battles in Asia.
Right. Can you tell me any stories about our family?
Yeah, there's lots and lots. There's a story of Lemuel's mother, who was single, who had Lemuel and then later married. So I'm sure that was scandalous in the early 1800s.
Right.
So yeah, that was kind of a interesting tidbit. Other stories. I think it was also Lemuel's mother who had a hard time paying the taxes once, and actually almost lost the farm, and was able to raise the money and take it to the auction to actually save the farm from being auctioned. In the 1920s and 30s, of course, it was a challenge for our family, just like everyone. But Lemuel and Jesse Tom were both very thrifty and had saved up money, so we were actually able to buy other farms in the 1930s. One veteran that I left off, or at least he signed up. He was never called to serve is my great-grandfather, Dr. Roy Forrest. We have his registration card from World War I, but as far as I know, he never served.
Okay, that's interesting. Do we have any records that kind of talk about this stuff or other history that we have?
Sure. We do have the family Bible, which goes back to Jesse Tom, which is my grandfather's grandfather. My late grandfather had that restored. Took it to a historian type person with Mount Olive College who actually did it. So he had that at his passing, and I'm sure that my father, your grandfather, has it now.
That's cool.
Yep. So we've got that. My late grandfather did lots and lots of research. He was in Washington D.C. in the last stage of his working life when he was with Federal Crop Insurance, and he did some work at National Archives. He went to the state archives. Sadly, our courthouse actually burned down in Greene County, like it seems like a lot of courthouses did in that period of time. But so our county records got lost in the late 1800s. But he was still able to piece together lots and lots of information from, as I said, Doc Forrest World War I registration card to the Civil War payout or pension that Lemuel and Jesse Tom received. So it's fascinating to see, the actual signatures of our ancestors. Yeah. And of course, the deed to the property is probably the best record.
Cool. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Was that it?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Thank you, Katie.